Hello, and welcome to the Something Better podcast from the City of Bakersfield. I'm Joe Conroy, the Public Information Officer for the city, and we're joined once again for part two with Community Vitality with Lieutenant Nicole Anderberg and Jamie Achterberg.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I got it this time. Okay, so we're going to dive a little bit more. If you haven't listened already to the previous podcast, I encourage you to go listen to it about the Community Vitality team and what they do. We did a little bit of an overview. We're going to dive a little bit more in depth into some of the aspects of it, just so people have a sense of kind of what the unit is doing. So we'll jump in, and if somebody reaches out and has an issue that Community Vitality needs to respond to, what can they expect when they do that? Like if they make a phone call or use the app or email, whatever.
Sure. When they make a phone call, they'll touch base with an operations support specialist who will triage the call by asking questions about specifically what's happening, any individuals that may be involved, and the location. Callers can provide their information if they'd like follow-up, or they can remain anonymous if they choose. And then from there, those specialists will triage the calls out to the appropriate party. And if the individual did provide their information, then they'll get follow-up when those calls are closed out. Typically, response times are about 4.5 hours, depending on what the situation is. Things like encampments obviously would have a bit more
immediacy.
Encampments, actually, they tend to have a bit more planning that needs to go into it before.
So it might take a little longer?
Right, might take a little longer. But for trespassing, loitering, maybe trash pickup, things of that nature, we can expect a quicker response.
Okay.
And then...
And why is that for encampments? Why did they take a little longer?
Do you want to speak to that operationally? Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So you've got to, like I mentioned in the first episode, there's a lot of different factors that come into play. How many people are at the encampment? How many encampments are there, are present? Are there dogs? Are there any other, issues that we need to deal with? And then we need to start looking at who we need there to help solve that issue. We also like to send flood ministries out first so that there's an option for these people that are in homelessness, and so that they can go out and they can offer services, see if these people are interested in going to the Brundage Lane Navigation Center, the City of Bakersfield Homeless Shelter. So we usually like to give them an opportunity to receive services as long as there's not an immediate need, or maybe there's not a trespassing element to it. So there's a lot of different things that go into it, but that those things take just a little bit of planning. So the larger encampments, again, those are just going to need more resources.
Right. They tend to need specialized equipment from the rapid response teams that they don't just have with them on their regular routes.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's a little more involved.
Right.
Sorry, were you going to say something?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So, you mentioned the response times, and what type of questions are asked if say you call in and you say, hey, I've got whatever this issue is, what should somebody expect when they're calling in and talking to somebody?
Really just being able to relay the issue that they're experiencing. So whether it's an encampment or an individual loitering on a property or someone who they think needs a welfare check, just being prepared to answer those types of questions about
Location.
What's going on
Yeah.
and where we need to respond.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they might ask questions too about if they've noticed any weapons, if the community members have noticed any weapons, or if the person appears to be under the influence or anything like that. And again, going back to the first episode, it's kind of evaluating what response do we need? Do we need a police response, or is this something that we can send out flood ministries for too? So it's that constant, triage, really individual approach to each concern, and sending the right people.
Yeah, and you don't want to send out PD if it's something flood can handle, because then that takes resources away from PD.
Exactly.
Right.
Where they could be responding to something else that flood can't respond to.
Yes.
So you want to make sure everybody's available for the appropriate responses. That sounds like a really great strategy there for that. And you guys mentioned before, you guys are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5-ish?
Yes.
Okay.
We can still get concerns after hours or issues after hours through the app or email, or you can leave a message, and then what happens is just the next business day we start addressing those. If it's something that's immediate and it is after hours, that cannot wait, you can contact the Bakersfield Police Department,
Okay.
non-emergency line.
So if it's outside of those business hours, call the non-emergency line?
Yes.
And which line? What number is that?
And that's 661-327-7111.
Okay.
So again, if it's something that can wait till the morning, something like that, then we ask the community to contact Community Vitality in the morning, or just contact Community Vitality.
Leave a message. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the number to call Community Vitality again? I think we gave it in the last episode, but just for folks that maybe skipped it.
Sure, it's 661-326-3737.
Okay, cool. And you'll talk to a human being, right?
A human being, a real live human being.
So it's not a call phone
No
thing
phone
where
tree.
you press the one for this or whatever. Awesome. So that, I know a lot of people appreciate that. I was actually on a phone call the other day and I had to deal with that, and I'm like, I just want to talk to a person, please. And so there's no location where you guys can where the public can go, but we can definitely communicate to you guys and reach out to you guys when needed.
Right.
And I think we mentioned it previously. Again, another pitch to go back and listen to that episode if you missed it, but use the app. It's very responsive. And when we receive a report, it gets sent out to the appropriate department or division, the appropriate responders. Talk a little bit about the future of this unit and where you guys think this might go or where you'd like to see it go.
Well,
not all at once, please.
Okay. Well, definitely, obviously, there's going to be issues that are going on all after hours on the weekends. It is definitely something on our radar that we want to expand. Obviously, there's.
It doesn't just stop after 5 o'clock or Friday or whatever, right?
Yes. And we're still growing. So that is definitely something that we have been told is a want from the community. We want that. So hopefully in the future we get there. That would be nice to have somebody there later in the evening and on the weekends. Again, looking with the staff that we have, we're, evaluating whether it would be good to kind of have shifts. So again, this is something that's new and growing, and we definitely believe that there's a huge amount of value in this program and approach. So yeah, we know where we want to be. We know we want to be there after hours and on the weekends. So that's really kind of our next.
It's kind of figuring out how to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, and just continually evolving and evaluating the process and kind of determining what tweaks we need to make this even more efficient.
Mm-hmm. So are there any other programs or things that you guys are Community Vitality handles that you think the public would want to know about or should know about?
So one thing that they work very closely with the Bakersfield Police Department is our Trespass Enforcement Authorization forms. So that is something that any private property owner can utilize. And what that is it's a very simple form. It's valid for 1 year, and it provides Bakersfield Police Department officers authority to enforce trespassing violations on private property. So that applies to vacant lots. That applies to buildings that are vacant, doesn't have anybody in it. Maybe you're experiencing break-ins or people camping inside. It also applies to open businesses where there's maybe you close at a certain time, you close at 5 o'clock and you're gone at night, and you have somebody sleeping on your property and leaving trash, and you get there in the morning and they're still there or whatever. There's a lot of different scenarios that this form can help. This authorization can help our Bakersfield Police Department officers enforce those crimes efficiently. They're not having to go out. If there's no trespass letter on file, then they're trying to track down the owner and then see if they want them arrested. And it's just it expedites things.
So why would somebody need a form? What is it that why does BPD need a form to have somebody that says?
Yeah.
What is it they're giving them authorization for?
So basically, to make an arrest for a trespassing law.
Because PD can't just go onto somebody's property and start enforcing something, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So we would need the property owner or the business owner or manager's consent saying, yes, I'm giving the Bakersfield Police Department authorization to enforce these laws. And the form's very simple to fill out and explains, what we would need from them. And so let's say our officers are on routine patrol and they know that this business has a no trespass letter on file. They show up, they can contact the person, they make the arrest right then and there. They're not having to wait for someone to come out and say, yes, I want to place that person under private person's arrest. And they're moving on. They're either taking this person to Laredo or issuing them a citation, whatever's most appropriate.
Because if they don't have one of those letters on file, PD can't do that right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And a lot of times the officer may not know. For one scenario, let's say we get a call for service that somebody's camping on a private property, a vacant lot. The officer that's responding may not know, but we have a really good process in place now where it's very quick for an officer to find out if there is an active trespass letter on file. They can look that up, confirm that there's a letter on file, and then they're making the arrest right then and there.
Okay.
So we get complaints coming in from all over. It's not always the business owner or the landowner or something like that. It could be a neighbor looking out for a property, where the business or the landowner's out of town. And so there's issues communicating with them. So if this letter's on file, we can help address that right away.
Right. You don't have to wait. You don't have to track people down then. So if somebody wanted to get one of those forms and fill that out, how do they get it? Do they need to come to the PD department, or do they go online, or how do we get those on file?
So you can email trespassletters@bakersfieldcity.us. You can also go to the Bakersfield Police Department website, through the city website, City of Bakersfield website, and we have a link for the trespass letters there. And you can also contact Community Vitality, and we'll get you the letter sent to you. So, yeah,
Lots of different
ways, and it's super easy. It's a very quick process, and yeah.
What's been the response to that with business owners or property owners? Have they appreciated this system, the way this is working, or how does it work from their perspective? Well, I guess, what have you heard?
I think it's been overwhelmingly positive, and the police department actually recently sort of revamped this process to make the form easier to complete. And I don't know that we have the stats on us right now, but in the same time just this year as the year prior, I think we were...
Wasn't it like 150%?
150% over the entire
More
2024
response?
calendar year,
Oh,
of
wow.
individuals taking advantage of this program.
Oh, okay.
And the police department actually did a campaign on their social media. So it's been overwhelmingly positive.
Okay.
Yeah. I think did we put it on the city Bakersfield? I think we did.
Eric's nodding. He's our
Yes, we did,
engineer and
didn't we?
social
Yeah.
media person. He's nodding. So
Yeah.
yes, I think we did.
So there's a really good video that if you scroll down a little bit on your feed, I think you'll find it. It's with our officer, Michael Broyden, Officer Amy Porwall. They're amazing. They're our downtown Old Town Kern footbeat officers, and they did a great video explaining the trespass letter process. It's 1 minute. So
Okay. We'll reshare it along with this so that we can, what's that, synergy, the integration, all that stuff, all those buzzwords. So, all right, cool. Well, thank you, ladies, again for coming in and talking to us about community vitality and this program. Is there anything else that I missed or that we didn't get to yet?
I think we covered it.
yeah,
All
I
right.
think so.
And maybe we'll have you back if you guys have some more programs or new things or evolutions, changes, things like that. So we will absolutely bring you guys back if that comes up. So again, thank you for coming in for a two-parter. We appreciate you coming in and talking to us, and we appreciate all of you listening to us as well. Make sure you like the podcast and subscribe so you don't miss those episodes as they come out. And with that, I'm Joe Conroy, and I will wrap this up with the latest episode of the Something Better podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Joe.